May 20th of 1999, we sat down and he penned a letter. And this is the letter that he wrote to Frank Gehry. Well, for the first time, having lived my early years in the tenement ghettos, I saw ornaments. And we wandered through Luna Park until night began to fall. He took my hand slowly, and we walked back to the station, up the stairs to the elevated platform to wait for the train that would bring us home. At that time, the sun began to set, but I was still looking at this wondrous sight called Luna Park. With its curling buildings and beautiful colors, suddenly another miracle occurred. All the round buildings were illuminated by bright or brilliant spots of light, and it seemed as if all the stars in the heavens had fallen and decorated these wonderful curved buildings. I asked my uncle, "What are these things?" And he said, "Electric lights." I had never heard the term electric lights. I didn't know what it meant, because where I lived, we had gas lights, and the streets were illuminated with gas lamps. So for the first time in my young life, I had experienced the wonder of curving buildings, colored and brilliantly illuminated, and this was the sight that would remain with me for years. And eventually, although it seemed I had forgotten them, they became embedded in my subconscious and probably controlled everything that I did in my future life when I became an architect. Its architecture came from a very, very important memory in his place of his heart. And this was what he was trying to come to in all of his architecture, which people now call it an architecture of joy. His touchstone for all of his work was to delight people. And the fact that that became his modus operandi for every building he did, of which he did 1,250 different projects during his lifetime, that became a difference that made the difference. Rem Koolhaas talks about machines with fantasy as a eureka, but Lapidus didn't want to say anything about machines. You know, form follows feelings, is what he said at the end of his life. And what he even went on to say more than that is that the values seed your forms. And your values that you have in your mind and the values that you carry with you will become the carnate things that we walk through. He said 90% of our lives are spent in buildings. We have to become sensitive to the way that we as architects build forms to inform the lives of these people that are walking. People don't march in a straight line. Why do we give them so many blank corridors? People don't want to run through a space, they want to meander through a space.